Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and today I'm going to do another one of my Ship With Me videos. It's probably our 5th or 6th one, and I just kind of take the opportunity while we're packing up the things that we need to ship today to just kind of share my thoughts on why I ship the things the way I do ship them.
You're not showing everything though, right?
Not everything, but a lot of it. A lot of it.
Are you going to show the fly?
Yeah,
It's
the
still
fly
buzzing?
that's still bothering me.
He wasn't over here until you hit record, then he started flying through. It's like he wants to be a YouTube star or something.
Yeah. All right. But before we get started, just wanted to talk, in the descriptions of my videos, we do have links to the supplies that we use. And I promise you, we're never going to recommend a supply that we don't use ourselves and think that it's worth paying for. So we do use American Bubble Boy. And if you guys haven't ordered your tape from them, y'all, it's good. And it's what?
A lot cheaper?
A lot cheaper. We were using the this. We were using this
from
Walmart, the Easy Start.
Heavy
but
duty.
Now American Bubble Boy is doing tape now. They did send me a free samples, and it's something that I'm just going to continue purchasing. So if you use the American Bubble Boy link, I do get a small percentage.
Right. And they get if they use your coupon code, the Rebel Reseller, they get 5% off on the tape.
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. Something like that. But
and
here's my only caveat. If you need quiet tape, stick with this. This is just regular tape. It is definitely worth the price reduction for us. But, you know, if you've got littles and you're trying to do your packages first thing in the morning, it's typical tape. It's noisy.
It's thick tape. It's not quite as thick as the Easy Start, but it's thick enough. It works as well for us, and that's what we're going to buy in the future. But if you need it to be quiet, use the Easy Start duct tape. But it's a lot cheaper, and I have a little thing I popped on the screen before because I was supposed to remember to look at it before this video and I forgot. But I'll pop the screen up. If you buy it in like a 24 or 36 pack, it is less than half of what the Walmart tape is.
So there's that. Then I'm going to show you guys how we pack something. But this is their bubble wrap. I love it. It is so easy to tear, and it's what it says it is as far as the length.
Yeah, I pulled it out one time. We were supposed to
measured it.
We were supposed to get like 90, and we got 89, and then there
parts.
were two that were 2/3 the size of a sheet that were on there. So we got what we were supposed to get, and it's about the cheapest we've seen for the quality we get. Excellent stuff. And when you order it, you get free shipping, and
it's quick.
It's like the next day.
For
if
us,
it's not the next day,
and
I think that might be one of their. I think I saw one of their Facebook ads recently. It's like it's usually the next day that they deliver it. So
depending on how far you are from their hub. And then we talk about this a lot. I know there's people out there who say, no, these pop. I've never had one pop in packaging that caused any kind of damage. But we use this a lot as to fill a box so that we don't have anything loose shaking around in there. But we actually had a problem getting a large order of this because we order a lot at a time. So Robert,
you get 330 of those for $20 on Amazon.
Yeah, Robert decided we bought our own. We bought our own little, what are these, air pillow makers? Here's his first attempt at it. We're going to just store it in a large cardboard box. And then we won't have to keep ordering large bundles of this and worry that our delivery person just leaves it laying in the driveway and it blows off down the fields.
And the price difference is, if you buy the one from Amazon, they are 6.1 cents each. And if you blow your own up, actually, I'm going to buy the film from the same company, but I got the machine was 150. But I can make my own. They're 0.7 cents each, plus the use of electricity. And you don't have to babysit the machine. You turn it on, and I could be down here working and turn it on and just let it do its thing and make a bunch and then stop it.
All right. So let me show you The hardest thing that was to pick today. And then old Robert, I'm walking downstairs. Robert says, make sure you don't seal the packages because we're going to share everything with you guys. But we kind of sort of pre-pack everything to make it fast. And then what does he do? He wraps it, tapes it, everything.
The first time we did one of these, we recorded while we were doing it. That was a horrible video to edit. It was the editing was awful.
Yep. So I sold my little Central Perk. You guys are kind of going to have a preview of next weekend's what sold. But sold this mug. We always put one of these, like two of them, and cushion the handle. And then we use, because this is larger than normal, we usually use like 3 sheets. But I'm not sure how many you use this time.
I don't know.
I don't know. And then we wrap the whole thing in bubble wrap.
2 layers thick.
2 layers thick. And then we find the appropriate size box to put it in.
Coffee cups usually go in a small priority box, but this one wasn't going to fit. So it went in that larger box over there.
Oh, yeah. This is my new box I bought with my coupon this time. 8 by 8 by 8. It was just something, you know, I needed a different size. A little bit bigger than like the 8 by 6 by 4s, but not as big as a priority box. And then he's going to have lots of cushions all the way around the edge.
The priority box will be free, but then I'm going to spend more time packing extra materials, and it's going to take more packing materials. And it's just simpler and faster and probably cheaper, and definitely cheaper on packing supplies to put it in that one.
And normally I would say use the free stuff if you're going to be shipping priority, but there are exceptions, and this is one of those exceptions. So I'm just going to have Robert take this and finish. But yeah, it would be all the way wrapped so that there's 2 layers of bubble wrap and then lots of cushioning all the way around the edges so that you have I think what I've read is you want at least 2 inches packing between your item and the edge of a box. If you're packing stuff with like small bubbles, you're going to have to use a whole lot of bubble wrap. That's why I love I call it large bubbles. It's actually Bubble Boys, American Bubble Boys medium bubbles. But I very seldom use the small bubbles. I have it, but I very seldom use it. I just prefer these.
I use the small bubble when I'm packing plates and stuff. I put one between. But I don't always have 2 inches of stuff. Like when I pack coffee cups, there's not 2 inches between in the box. There's just not room for it without using one of these boxes. And I want to use the free one. And we don't have problems. As long as you've got 2 good layers of bubble wrap around it, they get there.
All right. Now, we'll just move through some of these. See, priority box, because this is one of those instances, if the plush is going to weigh more than a pound or very close to a pound, you might as well use free priority. But this is just this is a vintage plush. It's very stiff, but it does have this wobbly neck. I would never put this in a poly bag. Even if it was only going to be 15 ounces, I just wouldn't. It would need to be in a box. This has probably been listed over 2 years. I changed to the self-seal bags probably about 2 years ago that I store everything in. Everything that gets listed is sealed in some type of protection. Mostly those sealed bags, just so that once I've got it clean, I don't have to worry about it anymore. But this is an older one. This particular bag does not have the suffocation warning on it. I'm going to continue using them just because I'm not going to repack this just to ship it. But I do make sure, you know, if you're using bags that don't have the suffocation warning on them, make sure you order some of these. And we do have a link to them on Amazon.
It's some sort of federal regulation or something.
Yep. All right. And then I'm not going to it's going to move around. I use a lot of this. It's just paper. I ordered a bunch at one time from Walmart, the packing paper. My rule is I don't even care if it's a plush. Nothing moves in your package. Nothing. This is a dollhouse figure. And why do you think I'm putting it in a priority box? It's sold on Poshmark. I'm not going to use my packing material when it has to be shipped priority anyway. So I just wrap it up in some bubble wrap, put it in a priority, and stuff in some paper. I sold this and I had it in a clear bag, but I couldn't find a box that fits it like this. I didn't want to use my 8x8s. So this is my 12x6. I'm going to just take it apart and ship it like this. So I had to remove it from its clear bag. Anytime you ship anything, you really need to have it in some kind of bag. Don't just put it into a poly bag, not in a bag, because you still have weather. Just anything could affect your package. And it just that one more level of protection is best.
Especially important on things that could be damaged by moisture.
Yes.
This one wouldn't be as bad, but any sort of plush that could get wet.
Yep.
And then mildew or something.
And I'm just putting paper to separate them so they don't jiggle together. Not going to move. And I like the eBay boxes because they're sturdy, but they're lighter weight than when I order my own boxes. I have not been able to figure out why their boxes are as lightweight as they are, yet still sturdy. I don't know.
They're more expensive, right?
Yeah, and they're more expensive.
And that's why you don't order them yourself, because of the expense.
Right. They are more expensive than like when I buy an 8x6x4 box. Now this is a plush. The only reason why it's going in a box, it was a lot of money. So anytime I have an expensive plush, plus he has this, his little card, I'm going to put it in a box with some protection. It's just, I don't know. It's just something I do. If you're going to sell something for $70, $80, $100, put it in a box. I'm still going to ship it first class. Well, what's the new one? Ground Advantage. I don't do extra insurance. I don't. I've had such negative experiences with the post office and claims. I basically call it a self-insure. I have very few issues, and the few issues that I've had as far as the lost packages are broken. I mean, when I sold the item for $2,000, yes, it got insured, but I'm not going to insure this or anything like $100, $150. Just a moment.
Post office doesn't pay out.
They don't pay out. They come up with every reason to not pay out.
So why pay for insurance? It's not going to pay out.
Right, and then they're expecting your buyer to take the package to the post office, or you pay to have it sent back to you, and then you take it to the post office. It's just, anybody else, I've had horrible experiences. I haven't had a single claim this year anyway, but last year I had a couple, and they did not pay out at all.
Cue the upcoming claim.
I know. Famous last words. Famous last words.
I've heard that pirate ship pays out much better on insurance than eBay does. So if you're a person, if pirate ship's something you do, then apparently they pay out better. And some people say they get cheaper rates through pirate ship. We look, and every time we look, it's a nickel one way or the other, and it averages out to nothing. So we just go straight through eBay.
Yeah. Clothing. When I set up my listings for clothing, almost all jeans, I do flat rate shipping of $8.99. The flat rate envelope like this is $8.30. And the other one, it just depends on where it's going in relation to how far away from me it is. But when I set up a listing, I only do priority. Priority mail, that's it. Nothing else. Priority mail, and I charge $8.99. And then when it sells, I can go in and I get to choose how I'm going to ship it as far as priority, because if this item sells to California and I'm in Tennessee, the shipping's going to be like $12 and something. I've charged $8.99. I'm going to ship it in this, right? A flat rate, $8.30. But if I sell an item and they're near me in my zone, my regions, the shipping's probably only going to be $7.20. And so then I use the Tyvek. So I'm gonna pay the $7.20. They've paid me the $8.99, but I get to choose which way. I think I've seen people make comments about they set up priority flat rate as their shipping option. I just do plain priority, and then you get to choose which of the priorities you're going to use. You know, and I've done the flat rate boxes. I've done the flat rate bubble envelopes, and then these. And sometimes I end up using just a regular box. If that item that I'm listing is not going to fit in the padded flat rate envelope, then I do use calculated, and I don't use flat rate. I use calculated because, you know, then the buyer's going to pay based on where they are from me, if that makes sense. I didn't have any of those this time. It was either the Tyvek or the bubble mailers for the clothing items that I sold.
Really, really large jeans, like some really large men's jeans sometimes, or a jacket or something like that, won't fit in the priority flat rate. So we have in our listing spreadsheet, we put a note that says that, so she knows when she lists it, don't do the
flat rate $8.99. This is a lovey, and it's going to go in a flat rate because it's sold on Poshmark. Don't use your paid products to ship stuff for Poshmark. This is it's a fragile part to a small appliance. This is one of those times I'm just going to use this, the small bubbles, get it in there, never in a poly or a bubble mailer, get it in this box, and then I'm going to use these just to fill in. This is going to end up probably being 4-ounce package, and then I'm just going to ship it, but that way when I close it up, because I've not got it closed, it's nice and secure and it's not going to get broken. A little Fisher-Price bed. I'm not going to run the risk that this somehow gets damaged in a poly, or, you know me, I love my little people. So use a ton of these. These are 4x4x4s. Just pop it in a bubble wrap and then just seal it up. Plush, if it doesn't have any like cards, paper tags, it doesn't have a sound box, it's not anything fragile, then that's when I use my poly bags. I have probably 6 different sizes, starting from 6x9 up to like the 18x24s. And I'm pretty good at gauging what size this needs to go in. But then I just ship stuff like that.
We use a lot of the 10x13 or 10x15, and 12x17.
Yep.
We use a lot.
A lot. That's probably the
12x17.
12.
Yeah, probably 12x17. But we use a lot of those two sizes.
I don't use as much of the 6x9s at all, but I have them because like a small lovey or a single little people might fit in those bags easily. It's another plush. Nothing in it. Nothing that's going to prevent it from just going in a poly. A little vintage My Little Pony. I'm not going to put this in a bubble. It's actually got flocking on it, which if rubbed too hard could damage it. It technically could get bent so that it was damaged. It's going to go in a box.
We probably won't tape that item in that bubble wrap. If you drop it, it's not going to break it. But if we have something breakable, like a glass knick-knacky or whatever, it's going to get taped inside that bubble wrap so that the person doesn't grab the bubble wrap, pull it out, and then have the piece of glass, whatever it is, tumble out and hit the floor. Something like that's not going to be a big deal.
And how many of you guys have seen where somebody's picked something up out of a box in wrapping and they break it, and of course then they say it was received damaged? But tape your stuff shut if you don't want it dropping out of your packing. Just another lovey, an Aurora, one in a poly bag. This is a shirt, but it is Lily Pulitzer, and it's sold for quite a bit of money, so I'm going to put it in a bubble mailer. I don't want to run the risk of the package being, the poly bag being damaged, so I'm just going to kind of like with my plush, if it's high dollar, it's getting a little bit extra protection. There's a little Winnie the Pooh plush, but it did have its card, so it's going to go in a box. I don't want to run. If, you know, I could put it in a bubble and this stay flat against the body and I wouldn't worry, because there are collectors that want everything in as good a condition as they expected from the pictures. So on things like this, even tie beanies with their tags, I will put them in a box. I use a ton of the 6x4x4s also. And I'm going to put one of these just to fill in the dunnage. The dunnage. Wooden Thomas the Train. These wheels move. I wouldn't run the risk of putting them in a poly bag. I'm going to ship them in one of these boxes. Usually a lot of this stuff, I don't even seal it. I just kind of wrap it to fill up the box. And then it's not going to move. And it's not going to break when they pull it out. You guys can't see it. These are just little Christmas Village figures. You can kind of see the guy right here. I've already pre-wrapped them in a small bubble wrap. And then I'm just going to put them in a box and use these to fill it. Some more little people. A lot of times with these figures, I will just wrap them in the large, one sheet of the large bubble wrap and then put them in a poly bag. But these are the interactive ones. These bottoms right here are plastic. I don't want to run the risk of them being damaged. So they're going to go in a box. Told you, I use a ton of these boxes.
So that fly buzzed by again. How long do they live? I know they live longer.
28 days.
They live longer than my patience, that's for sure.
Yes. Yes. All right. Lovey with the rattle. I can feel it. It's, you know, it could potentially get damaged in just a poly bag, but I'm going to use a bubble for it just to give it a little bit more protection. Plus, these are a lot stiffer. Just gives it just added protection. Oops, I pulled the thing right on here.
So I'm going to call the title of this video, "You Gotta Be Shipping Me."
Okie dokie, fine. Okay, this is a big old puppet, I think. I remember. He's a puppet. He automatically weighed over a pound. Don't use your own material. Put them in. I love the shoe boxes for a lot of my flash. He's going to fit in there. There's air in the bag. Just another plush. It's a baby plush, but there is no rattle. So I just pick a poly to fit it in.
So it goes in the cheapest of the cheapest shipping supplies.
Yep.
Did I say sheeping?
Sheeping.
Shipping.
All right. This is a puzzle. A lot of the puzzles will fit in this box or the larger one. If it's longer or like a board game, I telescope these two boxes together. I don't even think you can use the flat rate game boxes that the post office came out with one time. If you've got them, I think you can use them but with regular priority shipping. But a lot of times, like if I've got a larger puzzle or the games, I just take these two boxes and I telescope them together. This is a shorter puzzle, so I'm just gonna slide it in here. But again, I don't like my stuff to move, so I'm going to wrap paper around the sides and then fill it in the top. If Robert had packed this, he'd be using that box resizer.
Not on that. I'd use it on this one. I can't get the box resizer. I was going to tell you, just leave that alone aside and I will cut it down.
Oh, okay. Robert's going to cut it down for me.
Just the box cutter on that one because the resizer doesn't fit. The box resizer works well for me on large priority boxes, shoe boxes, and then even some of our, like especially if I have to use a Walmart box to pack something large. You could do the same thing just with with a utility knife, but when I do it, they come out all whopper jawed and look funny. So I prefer
our box.
I prefer the evenness of the box cutter.
Yep. This is just two of the regular little people that sold. This is one of those examples where I'll wrap it in the large bubbles. Usually I'll wrap it corner to corner, and then I'll do one forward and one backwards just to give it extra protection all the way around, and then I tape it all the way. And this is one of the times where I'll use one of the small poly bags.
I like to, when I use the small poly bags, I like to print the label and stick the label on before I put the item in there, because it comes out. If I put the item in first, then the label comes out all crinkled.
Yeah, you run the risk of, that barcode. You can't really have a crease in that barcode, because then they're not going to be able to scan it. So, I mean, this one would probably be okay to put the label on after, but a lot of times I just lay them on top of the scale, and then I'll put the label on, and then I'll just shift it. My golden rule, so that you don't make mistakes, I don't do bulk labels at all. I used to. I tried to do the scan sheets. No. When I'm working on something, I set it on my scale, and I don't work on anything else until that label's been put on this item and it's been put in a tote to go to the post office. That way you don't have these mistakes.
Put the label on the wrong package.
Put the labels on the wrong packages. One at a time, always.
Like Johnny Cash.
All right, last item. Everything else is just the same old, same old. I did sell this vintage dollhouse item. It's old. Look, it's just, the mirror is just this teeny tiny little piece. It needs to go in a box. I'm going to wrap it in one sheet, and then I have a filler. What is it called? An air pillow. And this is one of those times I will tape it shut and fit it in here, stick an air pillow, and we're good to go.
If you drop that, it might snap that mirror off.
It might, so I'm going to not take that chance. All right, I hope this helped you guys. Now we're going to actually finish packing everything and get the labels printed and run to the post office and pick up 2 more returns.
Because we're slow today.
Yeah, we went to the gym already this morning. We just decided let's do the gym, because once we get later into our day, it's hard to get that motivation to get to the gym. So we've gone to the gym, and now we're doing our packages.
Normally Bridget and Scotty pick them up for us in the morning, but
we have wonderful carriers who pick up my packages and scan them in my driveway before they leave. But today I wanted to do the gym first, because we knew we were going to record a video. All right, y'all, get to work. Bye.